welcome to another edition of Side Krisis. I am back once again wearing a stupid shirt. I've got a hat, not that stupid, but on me it's pretty stupid because I'm not a hat guy, which is why I wear the hats in these videos. It's to essentially challenge myself from a deeply psychological level. And what better thing to do in addition to wearing hats and challenging oneself at a deep psychological level? But of course, that is to play some Sega 32X games. Oh boy. So when I started doing Side Krisis, the very first one, I said, I want to play games that I love on systems that I love. Well, I am going to play some games that I thoroughly enjoy. And the system is nowhere near any system that I love. However, I do find it deeply interesting. It is Sega's first foray into the 32-bit console generation. It's an old story. I think everybody knows it. The Cliff Notes version is essentially Sega of America wanted this. The Genesis was still doing really, really well. Sega of Japan didn't really get it. But also at the time, Sega of Japan didn't really understand anything that Sega of America was doing. And that includes all of the success from, Welcome to the Next Level. General Tood, just Tood in general was Sega of America's MO. And at that time, boy, was it successful. But let's take a look at this monstrosity. It is lovingly referred to as the Mushroom Topper of the Sega Genesis. Here is a Model 1. This is actually so it's a Model 1, as you can see, Sega Genesis, but it's also the Altered Beast console. So it doesn't have the security startup, otherwise known as the TMSS screen. The other cool thing about this Genesis is that the audio circuitry in this one is heavily considered to be the finest audio circuit that you can find on a Genesis. I recently recapped this bad boy. I think it was somewhere around 45 capacitors, which was so stupid. It took hours to do, and I will not do it again. But this one is done. I also put new caps in this 32X so that it also gives more longevity. I do have a Sega CD. I'll go get that real quick just to show it, just for provenance, right over here. Oh, I love the wireless lifestyle. So, as you can see, I have a very dusty Model 2 Sega CD. We won't be joining forces with these two things today. However, just for the visual, I will lightly attach the two so you can see what we're dealing with here. Oh my God. Now that's video gaming, folks. Look at this. Look at this Frankenstein's monster of 90s electronics. It is so bulky. It is so sheeny. It is so very Sega. But yes, anyway, on these Side Krises, we're just going to focus on the 32X. And over here, as you can see, I do have a stack of 32X games. We will get into that one at a time as we continue down this road. But I will take the time here to mention when Sega did the cardboard box thing, that was the beginning of the end, in my opinion. That was it. Sega decided, no, these good-hearted children that love and support us and our Blue Hedgehog, that we've been building a relationship with, giving them precious plastic boxes, like NBA Jam here. They saw fit to make them paper cardboard, and they suck, and nope, that was not exactly what I wanted. There we go. The fart is indeed what they deserve. And of course, once again, thank you to the good Prince for enhancing our world here. Enhance as you would. Get going all night long. Okay, so I'm going to take a brief pause. I'm going to plug in this monster so that I can start playing some games. And we will talk about 32X games in just a second. Okay, I am back. I have installed the necessary power cables and video what's-its in order to make this thing happen. I am, yes, still very much wearing an Oliver Print Space shirt, so do not worry about that. And we'll be playing on a Sega 6-button classic here. I have zero issues with people saying that it is the best controller of all time. It's a solid piece of business. There's no two ways about that. And I will go ahead and say it earns one of these. And another one, just in case. But yeah, it rules. Sega 6-button is a classic. And, oh dear. I did not mean to push that one, so take no offense. Please and thank you. Okay, before I get into some of these retail released Sega 32X games that I have on the table, as you can see here, I do have an EverDrive, which unlocks all kinds of magical secrets. What I wanted to do, I don't have a retail version of Doom for 32X, but it did come out on 32X. It was a launch title. It was not well received. And when we play it, I think you're going to know why. But then what's going to happen after I play a little Doom 32X, the release that we all know and some of us love, I will show you some of the magic of the 32X homebrew community in that they released a version of Doom that we'll check out that should have been there since the beginning. If it was there, I think the 32X probably still would have been a failure. But nope, there's that button again. There's that. It just gets in the way. And there you go. That's what Sega wanted. They wanted the cash and they didn't get it. You know, I gotta be honest, having the soundboard and having just a super basement low attention span is challenging. I'll just throw that out there as a truth that I want to make public. Anyway, back to 32X Doom. Let's go straight to it. I have it loaded up here. So I'm going to do this. I will activate some sweet, sweet background sound, and I'm going to appear right here on the bottom right-hand side of your screen in my Oliver Print Space shirt. So let's just start at level 1, and we'll kind of talk about it as we go. I'm just going to put it on second. Not very easy, but easy, because I am a baby. But I just want to show you and talk about this before I hopefully blow your mind. Okay, so here's 32X Doom. One feather in its cap over other ports at the time is that it controls decently. So step aside Super Nintendo version of Doom with its horrifically laggy controls. And as you can kind of hear at a low volume, this version has music. So take that Atari Jaguar version of Doom, which looked way better and played way better, but had no music because of how short the development cycle was. id Software themselves made that version, and in order to make the launch and the way that the processing in the Jaguar worked, they kind of had to choose between music and full-frame, nice, fluid graphics. And they chose the latter, and I think it was a better choice for it. I love the Jaguar version of Doom because it's weird to say because the Doom music is so iconic and it rules. But walking around in a version of Doom without music is kind of spooky, which I think is the original intention of Doom. So that's kind of a neat, not quite a feature of the Jaguar version, but it's a reason why I like it. So back to this version, 32X Doom. As you've obviously already noticed, the game takes place in this stupid little window, which you cannot change. That, you know, was a thing back on PCs back in the day. You would narrow that window to get better frames, as you do. I blew past a bunch of secrets in there because I frankly don't care. I just don't care. And we're only going to play a little bit more of this, again, retail released. This is the European, USA, and Japanese. It's all the same game, but this is the one that officially came out. And okay, got my shotgun, and we're going to continue this journey of timelessly murdering Martian zombies from hell. You know, it just won't ever cease to amaze me, cease to keep me entertained. But you know, sometimes you got an itch, and that's the Doom itch, and there's only one way to scratch it, and that's playing one of the 75,000 different ways to play the original Doom. And you can't take that away from it. It is pretty available to play every which way but loose. All right, so we got the red card. So let's head in that direction. And we're gonna go through this door. Again, we're just blazing through here. Just blazing and blasting. Of course, yes, I do know there's a chainsaw over there, but that's not part of the mission right now. So we're just gonna get through this, shoot that imp. I will get that armor because it feels right. Let's hit this switch. And it's very dark. There's our exit. Let's do this, and let's do that. Okay, so that is, in fact, 32X Doom, the retail release. I am going to hit reset here on the 32X, and we're going to head back into this EverDrive menu, and let's see, let's do this. We're going to go to Homebrew and Hacks, and look at this. There's an entire folder of just Doom 32X hacks, which is amazing. But what we're going to do is we're going to check out Doom 32X Resurrection. All right, and I'm going to do this for myself, meaning I'm going to make it full screen. And let's just admire how much better this version of Doom is, complete with this sweet opening demo that reminds me so much of European Commodore demo scene stuff, which rules. Nobody does cool fire like that. Okay, boom, right here, full screen. We're starting out of the gate with full screen. Split screen multiplayer. So you can play this game co-op, split screen, on a single 32X. And you can play multiplayer. Do not know how this works. I want to know how this works. I haven't looked into it at all, but the fact that it's there means someone worked on it, and it'd be really cool if it was like you needed like an X band or something like that to make this work. But let's go to single player. Let's see. So look at this shit. Look at how much smoother it runs. Look at the fact that it's full screen, first and foremost. Another huge addition to this version of Doom is that the original 32X version lacked the entire final episode of Doom. Even the Super Nintendo version had that final episode. So I think that's somewhere around like 9 levels that are left out of the 32X version. You basically only have the levels from the first 2 episodes, and then there's like this ending screen, which is like saying it's an ending screen is charitable at best, but it actually looks like a DOS command prompt, and then that's it. You're done. Doom for 32X is over. This version has all of the levels, and I think there's actually support for various Doom WADs and other like Doom Master level stuff in there. Stuff that was only on PC. So literally every single thing that could be better about this version of Doom is better. It's kind of a miracle. And it does get you thinking, like, if the 32X was more of a success. And I don't know how that reality becomes a thing. But let's just say if it was more of a success and developers were given more time with it, this is the kind of stuff that the 32X is capable of. It's kind of not a slouch. It has the same main 32-bit processor as the Sega Saturn. It did a weird thing where it like took some graphics were generated by the Genesis, and then they were passed through using a literal patch cable. And it would combine elements that were being generated by the 32X and then output that together as like a program feed, combining the two. And that was how 32X was done. So a lot of 32X games have identical backgrounds as the Sega Genesis counterparts. Some games were ground up, like took full advantage of the 32X. Games like Star Wars Arcade, a European-only release called Dark Side, which has like textured polygons, which actually is quite an impressive-looking game when you compare it to the rest of the 32X library. Okay, let's get back on track here. I'm gonna get my Jansport, I got a bunch of gear in here. Boom. And let's get out that red door. Okay. Kind of running in circles here. It's a night. The movement smoothness, the frames per second, if you'd rather. It's such a night and day difference with this version of Doom and the retail version. Like it's, you don't ever want to go back. And why would you? It does. I guess it does beg the question. If you're not playing the original 32X version of Doom for whatever nostalgia's sake, it's not a good port. We all know that. That's established. But some people like it because of all of its quirks. So if you're gonna play this version versus that on that platform, then why not just play the newest version of Doom on literally every system that's available on the market? It's because you can play it this one, and so you do. Kind of like that Mount Everest thing. Although this is admittedly much more fun, safer, and accessible to people of all kinds of economic backgrounds. All right, I'm going to just do a little bit more here, just a touch more. Even the sprites, the enemy sprites, when you get up close, even that's been cleaned up version versus the retail release. It's pretty neat. And you can even see as I shoot, like the rudimentary fall sliding effects. That's not in the original 32X. I'll demonstrate that here. As you can see, the textures are changing colors as I shoot. Look on the ceiling there, that's a better example. So it's like a, baby's first lighting effect type thing. Still very impressive to see that on here. Again, all bells and whistles. All right, let's go this way. Let's kind of blast through this a little bit. I don't know if the cheats on Doom Resurrection are the same. Let's see. Pause the game, hold down mode, and the A button. No. Don't do it, not worth it. Okay. I'm not even gonna bother. Oh, look at that. There's a frames per second thing that I toggled on the game. So we're kind of hovering around 30-ish frames a second. Well, that's a happy accident. Okay, all right, dipping down to 17. Look, it's a 32X, and this game was made by hobbyists, so credit where it's due. Still runs way better than the retail version, even at 17 frames a second. But now we've gotten back up to the high 20s. Now we're kicking ass. All right, let's get back here. Get that blue key. Get that blue key. Oh god. All the imps are coming. Boom. Health, shells. That's all you need. Alright, head back this way. Oh, I hear these guys. And let's blast across. Health! Very good. Alright, and there's a bunch of secrets down in here and over there that we all know and love, but we're going to blow right past them. I'm just going to go through this blue door. Like so. Alrighty. Oh, God. They're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. Alright. Let's just do that. Let's do that. Okay, so that is Doom Resurrection. It is a fan-made 32X version of Doom. And as I very plainly showed, it kicks ass. Doesn't take much to find it. You will need a EverDrive or a similar type flash device to be able to play that on real hardware. I'm sure you can play it on a variety of emulators, and since we are talking about Doom, Doom has been an open source game for many years now. So, anywho, that's how we're going to kick off this, this we'll call chunk of Side Krisis 32X edition, is showing you that the platform is kind of still alive and very well today. People making things like that. It makes me wish and hope that more and more developers come back to this thing just to see the lost potential. I think if you check out a game like I'll show you in a second here, it really takes advantage of how good of a 2D machine this was. If more stuff can be done in that regard to unlock the full power of, like, let's just say the sprite scaling and the color palette that the 32X adds to the Genesis, a lot of cool shit can be done. I wish I had the smarts to be able to do it myself, but alas, I don't. So I'll leave it up to the fine folks out there in the homebrew community. So for this, like, subscribe, come on back. I'm going to do some more 32X action. So please stick with us here on the channel, and thank you so much for watching.